Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Energy Inside Motion. I'm here today with my guest, Alfie McIntyre, founder of Our Turn Brum. If you'd like to just give the people a little brief introduction about yourself.
Yes, sir. I'm Alfie. I run a music events company called Our Turn. I do some work in videography and photography. Um, and yeah, just putting on for the community in Birmingham. I'm not actually a Brum local, but yeah, I've been accepted as like a foster child of the city. So
How did you get into the creative industry?
started my music events. That was my uni project. So I started that in 2023 as like my final project for my university course in music business. As it got it going, it was just doing really well, so I decided to keep it going. That's kind of how I built a foundation, and then from there I've been able to like network more, get in like the right spaces, meet a lot of like great people, yeah, and just really become a part of the community. So yeah, that's kind of how I got my start in the event space. Yeah.
How would you say sort of your environment growing up impacted your journey and what you decided to go into?
That's an interesting question, actually. I was always like a big lover of music. Like since I was a kid, I've always played music like all the time, journeys in my room, all that good stuff. But obviously, when you're in school, there's not like a huge push for like the creative jobs, creative industry in general. So it kind of came out on a whim. I was originally going to go to uni to do sport, but I was COVID year of A levels, didn't get the grades I wanted. And then my mum actually suggested, she was like, "Oh, why don't you do something in music? Because you love music." And yeah, that's when I decided just to like got into the music business course on clearing, and then yeah, just took it from there. So, but yeah, my mum was a big part of it. She's like her music like is very much my taste. My dad as well. He's like a big like grime head, and I was like such a grime kid when I was little. So yeah, that's kind of like where me coming into music came from. Quite random, but definitely for the best.
So how did the type of music that you listened to when you were younger, how did that impact the type of music that you put on in your current venues and events now?
So most of our events are, especially our live music ones, are hip hop, R&B, and that's just based on the music that I love, the music I listen to the most. Obviously, I'm big into like Afrobeats. Since being around DJs as well, I've got a lot more into like electronic sounds like jungle, dubstep. But yeah, the music we put on in our live music is just based on the music that I love myself. So a lot of hip hop, a lot of R&B, alternative sounds. We just show on Tuesday with a group called We Have No Group Name. They like mix a lot of genres together. So I like that stuff as well, like people experimental music. And then with our DJ stuff, we kind of just let our DJs do their thing, really. I think it's best when you book someone in, just let them spin what they like, and as long as it's a good vibe, you know.
What was the first event that you put on, and what was the experience like of you putting?
Yeah, the first event was definitely a big learning curve. We didn't do too bad considering like it was the first event. Like we just launched the brand 2 months before. We booked in a friend of mine called Alame. She's really cool. She's from Bristol. She's doing like really well for herself right now. She was our headliner. We had a girl, Bri, support, and my friend Gladdy from my hometown in Peterborough. So it was very like makeshift, like just getting on people I knew. That was actually the time I met Con the First, who's our resident DJ now. He just messaged us like, "Oh, you're looking for a DJ," and we went from there. It was very stressful. When after doing that event, I was like, I do not want to do that again. Like I loved it in the moment, but the time leading up to it was like, oh my god, like are people going to come? All this kind of thing. But we got a decent turnout. I think it was definitely like a good like first step with the brand, and I'm definitely glad I did it essentially early in the uni year because I had a lot of time to prep for the next one. And then I feel like the second one was kind of where we made that jump into like building a real foundation for ourselves. So yeah, big learning curve, but took a lot of good lessons from it. I think that's testament to where we are now, essentially.
So in terms of your actual brand itself, how did you sort of create the branding for it?
That's a funny one too because I actually came up with the name when I was working at this window factory in Peterborough over the summer break. I think I just wanted something that like kind of explicitly kind of gave that like community aspect of it. So like the Our Turn, like it's our turn, it's Birmingham's turn. And that was like based on the fact that we wanted to create a space for artists to be heard, be seen, especially in a city that doesn't get like the shine that like London or Manchester does. So that was like the big ethos behind our branding. We've kind of changed our logo once or twice during the time, just based on the content we've been able to get. But the whole like ethos, our logos remain the same. The ethos behind our branding remains the same. And obviously we've grown over the years, but we still have that whole thing of like we want to get local grassroots artists on, give them a place to like show their talents, and then hopefully that can lead to bigger things for them too.
What do you look for in the artists that you platform at your events?
Obviously, first thing is good music. I also like to see when artists have like kind of made an effort to like get themselves out there a bit. I think sometimes you can get messages from artists where they're not making the best effort themselves. Sometimes you just want to see a bit more, you know, to give them a space on stage. But artists that have like been to our events, that they've introduced themselves to me, just people that are friendly and charismatic, and are like really putting effort into their work. I think that's what I look for the most, really.
How would you say that you've scaled your brand over the time that you've started it? Like, what different methods did you use to scale it?
Our first event was at the Night Owl, which is like a 250 capacity. Obviously, we didn't sell that. We got like 70 people in there. But we've kind of remained in that same like 100 to 150 range because I really love like intimate spaces and like intimate shows. I don't want to make, especially because as we're like a community-focused brand, a big part of it is everyone just being in one space, like enjoying this time together. So we've kind of kept it at that level. Some of the DJ events we have like scaled up a bit, bigger capacities and whatnot. But a big thing for me is just like keeping it local, keeping it grassroots. So yeah, obviously we're selling more tickets, but we're not trying to go huge with it, you know.
So yeah, what was some of like your inspirations growing up?
Nah, that's crazy. Inspirations in what kind of sense?
I think to actually like go into music, like, because that's a big jump to go from obviously just being at like college or uni, and then going straight into like entrepreneurship and having your own sort of brand.
Yeah, that's true. That's a tricky question. I would say, well, a bit cringe, but shout out to my parents. They're like really good hard workers, you know. I think I carry that with me, just that motivation. In terms of inspirations, I feel like Neighborhood, another local brand, like they're big inspirations to me. Like obviously we took an aspect of what they're doing and made it our own. Similar sort of thing, like bringing local artists on board. And they do it on like a huge scale. I don't think anyone in Birmingham is really doing it like they do it. So they're a big inspiration to us. Entrepreneurship and all that, I feel like it was an odd one for me because I didn't really look for inspiration. It was kind of a thing that happened. I kind of just said, oh, I'm going to do this event and like made it happen from there. So yeah, but I think I take inspiration from like just very creative people. Like I think like A$AP Rocky's like someone who delves in like a bit of everything, and I love that, and everything he does is dope. And I feel like that's kind of like what I want to do in my different aspects of like my creative career, whether it be like music, videography, photography, just making like cool shit essentially. Yeah.
Okay. What would you say sort of like your creative process is when you go to create something?
So with events, I'll just have an idea and then I'll reach out to people who might be involved and like we'll go from there. Like the STC show, which was a Brum Coventry collab night, that just came from the idea that obviously I've heard a lot of people say like West Midlands need to come together a bit more. My friend Kimberly, she runs STC with Neosurf. So that's been in the works for ages until it actually happened. But it was just one of the things where I was like, okay, let's make something happen. Like we're friends, we're doing similar things. Let's bring that together. So yeah, it's very just on a whim. At the moment, we have a lot of people like coming to us to ask us to do like launches and whatnot, album launches, mixtape launches. So that's another way we go about things, which takes a bit off my shoulders, which has been nice. And it means we can kind of like dedicate more time to the artists themselves. In terms of video and photography stuff, video, obviously when I'm hired, I get a brief and whatnot, but when I'm making my own stuff, I'll film the footage and then I'll look back at it and then I'll kind of cook up ideas from there. Like some of the recent Benny Culture work I did, I just got the footage and then when I was watching it back later, I was like, oh, I can make this, I can make that. very just see what I can do kind of thing, yeah.
So obviously with your Our Turn brand, what do you want the impact to be on the community from that brand?
With Our Turn, I want to, so like what I said at the start, I want to give a platform to local artists here to get the shine that they should be getting compared to like London spaces, Manchester spaces. I think the Birmingham like music and creative community at the moment is like really growing. I think in the last year, Birmingham has really like turned the tide. And there's just so much like cool stuff going on here now. And I think we just want to be part of that growth. And kind of get rid of that thing of like competition. I think we don't really have it so much here, but I think in cities like London and Manchester, there's like events doing similar things, and you know, there's a lot of clashes, like there can be arguments and whatnot. Whereas here, we're very much focused on like collaboration, like people will share their audiences, which I think is great. And I think that's kind of what we want to just keep pushing for the city. Hopefully like see more like cool stuff pop up. Create Space recently, they've come up in like the last year, they're doing really well. There's loads of stuff I can mention, but just having that ethos of like we can do this together rather than apart, and we can like really put on for the city and like just make the change that I think Birmingham needs to like take that next leap into like being an official like music city, and like big creative space. I think people here know about it, but we need to get it out to the masses now.
What advice do you have for creatives who want to create their own sort of brand or their own sort of movement?
I think just go for it. I think obviously there's a lot of like, when you start anything new, there can be a lot of fear and just like a bit of shyness. You know, you want something to be good, so you're careful about how you put it out, and you can be very perfectionist with your stuff. I'll say just go for it. Obviously, plan and organize as much as you can. One thing I'll always preach is organization. I think that's one of the reasons I've been able to like do my thing, because I'm quite organized. I keep track of my time, know what I've got to do. So organization is such a huge part of being a creative, especially if you're like freelancing and whatnot. You need to keep track of where you've got to be, what you've got work to do, where your payments are coming from, all that kind of thing. And yeah, just take the leap and put it out there. You never know who's watching, and you never know what this idea you might have might turn into something else. Like when I started my events, I wouldn't really have imagined it to like go this far. I kind of saw it as just a uni project. And now we've got like a real community, and like, we're in a good space in Birmingham. So I think just like, yeah, take that leap and see what happens, you know? You can always go back and restart or rebrand and whatnot. So why not just go for it?
So with the community in Birmingham, the creative community, what do you think the most important things for people in the community like to have in terms of values and in terms of mindset?
I think, like I mentioned before, like the collaboration over competition thing is a big thing here. Everyone in like the Birmingham creative music community is like super friendly. Like I don't think there's any, well, obviously there's some cases, but there's not too much beef here. You know, everyone's open to work with each other. I think just being friendly, being outgoing, being genuine, and authentic. That's one of the things that, you know, when you do that, no one can take that away from you. If you're always like acting in your best, acting in the, how would you say it? Acting with a good heart, just, yeah, putting yourself out there. I think that's such a big thing. I think something that's benefited me like greatly is just going out, getting my name out there, speaking to people, because you never know what's going to come out of like the connections you make. Like even this today, like me and you. So you never know what's going to happen, and yeah, just run with it.
What are some of your personal goals, and where do you want to actually take Our Turn in the next upcoming years?
Personally, at the moment, I'm focused on kind of taking my freelance work and trying to become a full-time freelancer. Been doing that for like about a year and a half. So hopefully by the end of the year, I would like to be that full-time freelance, but we'll see how that goes. At the moment, I'm kind of on track, so it's looking all right right now. In terms of Our Turn, I think kind of just to keep going as we've been going. I do want to keep it to, like I said before, like the intimate spaces, like nice, like kind shows, like not huge capacities. But I would definitely I think a big goal would be to like maybe work with some like bigger brands, take that Our Turn ethos and kind of work with someone bigger to get that message out to like a bigger crowd. And just obviously working with bigger brands, you can get that reach out, like Birmingham can be seen more. So I think that's one of our goals coming up. We want to do more like artist-specific shows. Like we've got Clavis album launch on Monday. We're in talks with a couple of other artists to like set up some album launch type things. That's kind of the direction I would like to kind of take things a bit more, just because I really love like artist-focused shows, intimate. Everyone gets to really feel and like connect with the artist. Yeah, we're kind of taking things as they come out. It's our 3rd birthday in October, so we've got some big ideas for that. I'm kind of just going with the flow at the moment. We'll see what happens, so yeah.
What are some of the different ways that you've built your confidence as you've gone in your journey?
Pretty much just going out and making an effort, and sometimes you have to fake confidence a bit. I think when I first started trying to like network, it was very much like, oh, I've got to say something, I've got to talk to people. But as that goes on, you know, that your confidence like naturally develops, and especially here, like you realise everyone's friendly, everyone's open for a chat. And yeah, just being, you should also, I think just being confident and proud of your work is another way that's like naturally radiates confidence. Like if you're proud of what you're doing and you think you're doing something good, like other people will see good in that. So you kind of just got to get yourself out there and like work on it naturally, I think.
Something I wanted to ask is, you're very on top of your content creation game.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
What advice do you have for creatives who want to improve their content creation?
You've got to find the time to edit. Editing can take a long time. As we were saying before, editing can take a long time. So coming up with a content plan is always a good start. Like personally, I do a thing where I have like maybe 3 or 4 TikToks that I want to make a month. And they kind of all follow the same formula, but if I'm getting them out every month, I'm kind of hitting my target. And then when you're doing content creation, you always find like, you may have gone to film something, but you can make something new out of that. So finding them like the little pieces of content you can use as something else, something new. And I think just always being open to new ideas in a way. Just always thinking, oh, like what could I use this for? Like how could I turn this into something else? I'm kind of still learning on the content creation kind of thing. TikTok is a bit of a maze to navigate, so yeah, we're getting there.
So my last question for you would be,
Sure.
what is the best collaboration you think you've done, and what would you say is the collaboration you want to do the most in the future?
So, best collaboration we've done. See, one thing I always look back on is it's essentially a collaborative event, but Conference 2 that we did last year, which is essentially in collaboration with Con the First, but he's our house DJ. But that was just such a good moment. Like it was just free, everyone was vibing. I just look back at that event like, yeah, that was a really good one. Another big good one we did like that I'm really proud of was the Singles album launch we did back in October with Kate Smiles and Dylan the Infamous. Just a really sick night, sold out show. People got to hear the full album like literally a couple of days after it dropped. Yeah, it was just super good vibes. I think going forward, more collaboration with artists, like I mentioned. We're in talks with someone at the moment. It's still in the works, so don't want to say too much, but someone that I've always looked up to for a long time. And they were kind of one of the first artists I kind of tapped into when I was getting into the Birmingham scene. So having them to like come to me about doing some shows is like a really big moment for me. I think there's some good ideas in the works. I think at the moment I'm just open to any collaboration we can get. But yeah, anything with like a bigger brand or like, I don't know, a local clothing brand would be cool. Stuff that also like takes us a bit out of our normal like range. Like obviously we're very in music, but like if we could collaborate with, I don't know, like Wingstop or something, like something that's completely different and like make something really cool together. That's like kind of stuff I'm looking to do. So yeah, a lot of potential good stuff to come, I think.
So if I could just give the people your social media.
For sure. My Instagram and TikTok is Alfie MCII. Instagram for Our Turn is ourturn.brum. Same on TikTok. And then you can find my video stuff on Instagram at tapedby.alfie. Also follow Moho for Life because I'm doing some work for them too. And yeah, that's everything where you can find my stuff.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, mate.